Mike is a young man in his early 20s and he's sick and tired of working a dead-end job he hates just to pay his bills. His co-workers don't respect him and his boss treats him as if he were some kind of inferior human being. On top of all of that, let's not even talk about Mike's dating life. He's too shy to go and to talk to girls. On social media, he constantly sees those guys in their 20s or 30s living the sort of life he could only dream of. Mike's decided he wants to get rich too. After all, if he finally gets the Lambos, he'll get the love and respect of the girls and of his peers, right? So Mike starts to go down the rabbit hole. He watches every single video on YouTube on how to make passive income. Because you know, Mike is lazy. He doesn't want to have to do any work to make $1 million a year. That's too difficult. He hears some gurus telling him that he needs to save all of his money, never go out to dinner, and never ever spend $5 on a Starbucks coffee. It's so easy. All he needs to do is to invest $100 a month in the stock market for 60 years and he will finally become a multi-millionaire. Now let's be honest. You're not like Mike, you're different. You know that getting rich isn't going to be a walk in the park. You know it's going to take a lot of time, effort, perseverance, and determination. If we haven't met before, my name is Fred, and just a couple years ago, I used to be completely broke and depressed. I hated my life. Fast forward to today, and I'm now running a profitable online business, working from wherever I want in the world. I'm able to travel, to pick my own schedule, and I'm having the time of my life while doing so. And that is exactly why in this video I want to share with you the truth on investing and exactly why it won't make you rich. But not only that, I'm also going to reveal how you too can live this sort of life as long as you refuse to quit and you are willing to put in the work. You will honestly be surprised to discover what type of incredible life is available to people who never quit. Now let's be honest, yes, you can get rich with investing. However, there's a catch. It's going to take you your entire life. If we do a quick simulation together, if we invest $100 a month in the stock market with an initial payment of $1,000, and let's assume that we get a 10% return on our investment every year, which isn't too crazy to aim for because it's the historical annual average return on investment of the stock market. So it's definitely doable. In 60 years, we would end up with close to $4 million. Impressive, right? Now that's great, but the downside is that it took you 60 years to get to that point. If you're 20 right now, you'd be 80. If you are 30, you would be 90. And if you're 40, well, 100 years old. And let's be real, it's not like those $4 million are going to end up in your pocket anyway. With inflation, it's more like you're going to get half of that money. I mean, today $5 million is the new $1 million. And oh, don't forget that on top of all of that, you will need to pay a lot of taxes. Now, to be able to invest in the stock market and to get this kind of outcome, it means that you would need to be able to save $100 a month at the bare minimum for 60 years straight. And considering that most people are still living paycheck to paycheck, it seems very hard to achieve. Depending on many sources, between 60 to 80% of American adults live paycheck to paycheck every month. We hear plenty of gurus telling us that we need to save money and that we should never even go out to dinner and enjoy life, or hell, dare spend $5 on a Starbucks coffee, because after all, we could make it at home for 50 cents instead. Now, I don't know what you think, but having to sit there and see the years flying right by me and having to wait at the very least 60 years to finally be able to enjoy life, it's not what I had in mind. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm by no means saying that you should not save money. Truth is, even if you have different type of investments, let's say for instance that you invested in the stock market and also you have some real estate rental properties, in case of an emergency, it's going to be very difficult to access those funds. So if you need money right now, cash comes in handy. The issue, and what mainstream advice is not telling you, is that saving money will never make you rich. Think about it, you can only save so much money every month and every year. Let's say you make $50,000 a year. You manage to save $3,000. Then what? What's the next step? That $3,000 is not going to magically turn into $300,000. If you truly want to become rich, you need to find a way to make more money. Now, here are the main ways that you can do that. A, you can work more hours. Since most people are paid per hour of their time, naturally this means that if they work more hours, they will make more money. However, let's face it, that path is very flawed. You can only work so many hours in a day, in a week, in a month. You can't spend your life just grinding away every waking hour just to make a few extra $100 per month. Now, some jobs will give you more leverage than others. For instance, if you have a commission-based job, you'll be able to make more money than if you are simply paid per hour of your time. Because now it means that if you get better results, your ability to earn more money increases with the results that you get. Let's say that you're a sales rep for a car dealership or a real estate agent. The more deals you close, as a result, the more money you'll make. So because you are paid directly for the amount of value that you provide to the company and to people, as opposed to being paid only per hour of your time, now you unlock the possibility to make a lot more money. But even then, you're still trading your time for money. If you don't show up at your job, you're not going to make any money. The deals aren't going to close themselves. And at some point, you'll still hit a ceiling when it comes to how much money you can generate. Now, your other option to make more money money would be to get a promotion, to get a raise. But usually, this would mean more responsibilities, more work, and longer hours. In plenty of careers, you would also require more qualifications, which again is going to require more work, more responsibilities, and longer hours. And if we stick with the example of earning $50,000 a year, if you convince your boss to give you a 10% raise, you would now be making $55,000 a year. That's a noticeable increase for sure, but it's still not fuck you money, and it's unlikely that you're going to get a 10% raise year after year. So if you actually want to become rich, like we're talking fuck you money, we're talking the private jets, the big mansions, the supercars, what are you supposed to do? Well, that's the thing. Rich people take a completely different path to the one that most people are taking, and that is the reason why they're able to make so much more money and get outstanding results. They use the cheat codes to life, because if they were to do like everyone else, they understand that they can't just spend every waking hour working. So if they are paid per hour of their time only, they would never be able to make so much money. Now you see, the way that people would manage to get rich a couple decades ago, or even a couple centuries ago, it's completely different than the way that people get rich now. Back then, the internet didn't exist. Instagram and TikTok influencers blowing up all of a sudden and making more money than doctors, they didn't exist either. You need to realize this, we are living in absolutely crazy times. Now more than ever, you have the opportunity to completely transform your life and to break free from the socio-economical status that has been imposed upon you by birth. I mean, back in the 19th century, if you were born in a low-income family, 99.9% of the time, you were guaranteed to spend your entire life low income. There was no way to go up. You were either born a lady, a lord, a royal, or you were not. Nowadays, some girls are making more money on OnlyFans than brain surgeons. How crazy is that? And that is why, if you truly want to change your financial situation, to not have to work for a rude boss who doesn't care about you, if you want to be able to travel the world, to buy nice things for yourself and for the people that you love, to be able to go on a vacation whenever you want, to take your partner to the best restaurant in the city and pay the bill because you can afford to, you need to start your own business. Now again, just a few decades ago, so not that long ago, starting a business was an incredibly difficult endeavor. You would have needed to come up with lots of startup capital. You'd need to buy some land, open up some factories, and hire some workers. So that goes without saying that unless you knew the right people, you were within the right circles, and if you weren't born in a wealthy family, you would need to work yourself to death all of your life to hope that one day you would amass enough money to finally open up your own business. Understand this, back then, opening up your own business venture was the dream of a lifetime for many, and many didn't even get a shot. So honestly, that really makes me laugh when nowadays I see people complaining about having to work 4 to 8 hours a day to make millions of dollars. Who are you kidding? Not too long ago, people would have killed to have this opportunity. Those people don't realize that they have gold in their hands. Now more than ever, it's never been easier to join the ranks of the top 1%. Just take a look at your competition. Most people are out of shape. They're constantly on social media, frying their brain with so much dopamine, they can't focus on doing the boring work for an hour. That's who you're competing against. And the reason why most people fail, it's not because they lack the intelligence, the skills, or the ability to learn. It's because they quit way too soon. That's the reason why. So if you want to start your own online business, but you have no clue where to start, I have recorded a free video in which I'm going to analyze every popular online business model. Together, we are going to take a look at the pros, at the cons, and I'm also going to share with you for completely free the 3-step process that you can use to get your first customers as quickly as possible. If you're interested, there's the link in the description below. So is investing completely pointless, useless? Not at all. The thing is that plenty of people are trying to mislead you, especially in the finance space. They're not telling you the whole truth. They don't tell you that becoming wealthier is a game with many levels. What you need to do to get rich, it's not the same thing that you need to do to get richer. The path from $0 to $10,000 a month is a lot harder than going from $10,000 a month to $100,000 a month. Because now that you're making a decent amount of money with your business, you have the necessary capital that you can reinvest in the growth and development of your company. You can hire more people, delegate a big chunk of your work to people who are more talented and skilled than you are in specific things. Every successful person that you see understands how crucial this is. They all surround themselves with people who are hardworking and talented. They find those people and they harness their efforts. It's the same thing when a business owner hires an accountant. The reason they do that is because the accountant is the expert in that field. And all that time that they don't have to put into accounting, they can put it on growing the business. So if you truly want to change your life and actually become wealthy, what are you waiting for?